If you'd like to know how you can take your career from engineering to construction project management to real estate investment to business coaching, then you're in the right spot. Join me with my next guest, Kazi Haque from Canada. Let's go.
Hi folks, welcome to the Moving Beyond Being Good podcast by Gary Ryan from Organisations That Matter. In this podcast, Gary shares everything about servant leadership, service leadership, authentic leadership, how to create high performance cultures, service excellence, and life balance. Here's your host, Gary Ryan.
Thank you, Sienna, for your lovely introduction. Folks, as you've heard in the introduction, we've got Kazi Haque here from all the way in Kingston in Canada, and that is in central Canada. It's got a fascinating history, Kingston, because once upon a time it was the capital of Canada before it moved to Ottawa. Welcome, Kazi. How are you doing?
Thank you, Gary. Glad to be here as part of your podcast. It's been amazing. I've been anxiously waiting to be part of your platform, and you've been doing a fantastic job. I've been keep watching all the podcasts you've been doing. Great job you've been doing. So glad to be here.
Yeah, I really thank you for that kind feedback, and we're hopeful that we get you exposed to a nice large audience with this conversation. And one of the things that we like to explore in the Moving Beyond Being Good podcast, Kazi, is people's career journey and the shifts and twists that they take over time. And you've certainly had quite a number of them, starting out as an engineer. Do you want to tell the audience about that part of your journey, please?
Of course. Yeah. So when I was a kid, of course, I was more fascinating about some creativity aspect of my lifestyle, looking at more in the engineering, more process-driven kind of individuals growing up. So that prompted me to go to the engineering school. And of course, I come out of as an engineer. I became a professional engineer, worked in a consulting engineering for a firm for a number of years. And before we moved on to another employer, I've been there for over 2 decades or so. And during this time, I'm still working. I became a senior project manager over the past few years. So in the project management construction field, which we engaged the consultant to do the design, and I manage those construction projects. So natural trend would be, okay, so we are already living and breathing and smelling the construction. I'm already in the real estate space. One thing that it did not click on my head is the mindset limitation on this, right? That, okay, so I got everything what I needed. I have transferable skills. I'm a process-driven kind of individual, planning, design, engineering. Okay, so why cannot be an investor? So that is also another journey that I've taken, and I will tell you more about it. And that's kind of where my starting on from the engineering side into the construction project management. And the new door opened up 5 years ago in the real estate. I can go kind of a little bit more detail, and then I will talk about, if you allow me, about the 10X side of business certification. We've gone through a 10X certified business coach, and I'm loving it. It was meant to be for myself, but then I end up enjoying it so much that I want to give more back to the community, back to my clients, so that their life will transform the same way that I have gone through ever since I found Grant Cardone, which is the 10X mindset is taking me a different trajectory now.
Oh, I'm going to love hearing about that detail. So, you know, that first shift from being an engineer into the project management side. Now, clearly you were interacting with the consultants and seeing that side of it. So just tell us about, because one of the challenges that people have is they always feel stuck, especially when they've been doing a job or a particular role for a long time. And then to make that step to get unstuck and actually be more where you want to be. Can you tell us in as much detail as you feel free to tell us about how you traveled that particular journey? And was there any moments in that journey where your mindset really got tested about, is this right for me?
It's a great question, and that's exactly where I was going to sort of point it out, that everybody has a wow light bulb moment, right? For me, I had to ask myself that, yes, I had a great life in terms of the professional job I had. I have been having in terms of the lifestyle that what I needed. One thing that was missing, of course, that I'm also a musician as a passionate guy. I love music. And I'm also a very much vivid sport guy. You know, I play tennis, badminton. And when I was a kid, I also played soccer, not much now, but very much in the tennis. So I look at myself, and also we love to travel with my family. So thinking about all that passion and things you wanted to do, it is your why. Why are you doing it? Is this just, you just going to go to work and come back? Is that what you want to do? Although I have a fulfilling job, I've been doing it. I love it. Being an engineer, being a project manager, I love challenge every day. I manage risk on my projects. I manage pretty much anything that in the world of the real estate, you'll be exposed to those kind of things, right? So I think the light bulb moment came in. I spent considerable amount of time not doing an actual action on that side, the real estate as an investor. So nothing wrong with it. First few years or so, you have to soak into a lot of learning curve. And I am more passionate about reading a lot of books, listening to all the experts, about the real estate strategy. You need a foundation, because I did not go to school to become a real estate investor. So I have to educate myself. I spent tons of money and my time, and I invested for myself. I know that there's an important reason why we need it, because I need to build confidence for myself that, hey, I want to soak in with all the education I need and make sure that I study around it, all the investors, how they're doing it. Yes, when the action will come in, I will take it. But one thing that I've done a little bit, I shouldn't have, if I were to go back, is two things I should have done it. First, I should have picked one coach. That's number one. I did not have that mentor or coach. Mm-hmm. Now, I cannot just randomly pick somebody, because I really wanted to make sure that the coach is really the coach that they have gone through the similar journey that I've done, or 100 times better journey than what I've done, so they can show me the path, right? So I did not have the coach, and I did not build a community, or I was not belonging to those kind of community, so that they will always inspire me. Just like we have 10X community, it was every day is giving us energy for that, right? And it's not about you taking and taking, you're also giving back to the community, right? So those are the two. And the third things that, if I were to go back, was the social media presence. I was not a social media kind of guy. Being an engineer, kind of typical, I wouldn't say typical. I mean, I can only speak for myself. It's a kind of more focusing on what I'm supposed to be doing on this. There are a lot of good engineers I know that they're very, very good. They're in the industry. They're very social as well. I can only speak for myself, okay? Not all the engineers, because I love being part of the community as well. So that engineering background obviously helped me tremendously on my technical side of that, right? But I need the interpersonal side of it. So having those things, if I had it earlier, I would have, it's not like I didn't have an opportunity. I was not looking what I should be looking. So I would just keep absorbing all that. Then I asked myself that how long I should be absorbing all that. I got to take an action now, not 5 years, 10 years down the road. So this spark bulb moment that happened, we have Walmart here. Okay. That's where the big outlets in Australia, I think you have a Walmart there too. So typically, right? In Australia,
got similar. We don't actually have Walmart here in Australia, but we've got similar big supermarket chains. Yes.
Okay, that's okay. So let's say that I walk into the big supermarket, and there's always a book section and there's a magazine section, right? And in Canada, we have Walmart. I walked in. I'm very much passionate about reading a lot of books. The magazine was glaring at me, saying this was an important actually one of the real estate world. Canada's #1 real estate investment magazine. This was back in forecast 2019. And the back of that magazine, it's glaring at me saying, think you need a big bucks to buy an investment property? Big question mark. I paused myself. I was staring at that. I said, then it was a big thing. It said, think again. So this was the thing. Think again. And it says that it's secure monthly income, professionally managed, and you own the property for as little as dollar amount down. And then there is a number there with the company name. So this was a very reputable magazine. So I think that people who's going to be putting on the magazine, it's got to be really credible. But again, I had to verify that within a couple of days. And I was very much convinced that, yes, that is the property that I'm going to step in. That was my journey that I started as a turnkey project, a condominium turnkey project. And that was the catalyst of my actual implementation. Then I sat in there for a year and a half. Then I had to think about it that, wait a minute, I just bought a property. I'm not using it, my skill set. I'm just using for passive income. Why not I look at myself saying, what kind of value add service I can provide as an engineer, as a project manager? I'm living and breathing. I should be buying a property where I can put massive value to it, a lot of construction, and bring that into multiple unit. And then I built a portfolio in Canada, a small portfolio, not a big portfolio. And then I went beyond that to the United States. And now in Orlando, we have a short-term, medium-term rental, one property I purchased, not too far from Disney World. Then very excited to be over 136 unit, the big apartment at Tampa property that we are zooming in to close within the month or so. So that's kind of where all it started, the catalyst in the 5 years time frame. And my goal, just like a 10X, 5 years to 10 years, to be a land developer, primarily in North America, or it could be anywhere in the world, basically. So you set the goal, you set the target, do the consistent, massive, it's a 10X rule that I live by, right? I set the goal that I want to be a real estate investor, and really a top-notch one. And then consistently, I've been engaging with the community. I built the community. I expanded myself in the social media within that as a thought leadership. And then I'm providing a massive value to those community. I'm also absorbing it, right? So that I'm getting educated every day. I'm like a sponge. I always believe in that. And then, as you know, the 10X rule, very simple math. 10X target, consistent 10X level of effort equal 10X result. And the result, I'm seeing it. Now, I did not know Grant a year and a half ago. Had I known him, things would have been obviously 10X a long time, many years back. But that was the end of the catalyst that I'm going to be talking. Now, I'm going to go ahead if you have any further question up until this point or anything you want me to add on for my real estate journey.
Yeah. So I'm interested, at what point did you leave your full-time job to work in this space full-time? At which point did that happen? Was that more recently, or was that around that light bulb moment when you shift? Because I'm assuming it would have been a bit after when you got that first investment for the turnkey. I'm assuming that was a little bit later.
No.
And then COVID came, so obviously.
Sure. So I did not leave the job. But I was able to do a lot of work. That's what I'm saying. The 10X level of effort after work until about midnight or 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, whatever it needed. In the whole weekend, if I have to sacrifice my life, that's exactly what he needed to, as Grant says, you have a one vertical you're in, keep the vertical, do the best in your employer for your employer, and then focus on the second vertical, third vertical, or fourth vertical to make sure that you also grow that. But give your best shot for everything. So you can be, I live by the 10X super life philosophy, right? Which basically is saying that you're thinking right, you got to think the right thing first, and you combine with the right amount of action you needed for all areas of your interest, which he outlined 7 of them, right? Which is the family, the business, health, spiritual, financial, community, and the recreation. So I live by those things. It's not like, since you become so successful in the one, you right away leave the job. You just keep the job because I love actually doing the job. My wife, she's a nurse. She also loved the job. So the whole family is contributing in our spare time to build our real estate journey. And then I will give you more of my story on the getting the 10X certified business coach and what is it doing for me now. So that's my another step that I'm going to talk about.
Yeah, which we'll definitely get to that step in a sec. So the more recent work you've been doing in the real estate space, because I have been following that on social media too, and getting to this project with the 130 units in Florida, and massive. I mean, that's massive from your turnkey 5 years ago, and And
Right.
what people probably don't understand, when you don't have to share all the detail, but to be able to get into that position now, which, as you said, you're about to close that this month, to be able to fund that from where you are to where you are, like, that's a big journey.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is where your persistence, consistency with the community you belong to, you provide massive value and build the credibility, and make sure that you also bring your knowledge base, you bring your skill set, bring your own capital. It's going to help to leverage with other partners to play the big that kind of opportunity. So yes, it is a 136 unit Tampa, great location, super excited. Within a month and a half, it's going to be closing. And yes, you needed to leverage those, but it takes time to build a relationship. It didn't happen one all of a sudden. You build that one, and you show that, you demonstrated that the kind of ability you have to put massive value to it, create more of the value of the asset, and then the other players that see it, what you're doing. And natural thing is that I'm already, as a construction project manager for so many years, it's my natural plan. No matter what kind of asset you're going to be looking at, you need a value add. So I looked at myself, I said, what am I good at it? What are my strengths? What are my transferable skills? Then I looked at what am I not good at it, or weakness that I have. Social media was not one of my best, but I am now leveraging, and I'm getting more comfortable nowadays. Everybody, and where I'm not comfortable, I'm leveraging other people to help me, whether on the social media side or marketing side. And in that respect, Grant Cardone has given me the recipe that I need. His content, it's unbelievable. That's also thinking, well, it changed my thinking in a 10x level. And I'm applying that. I'm applying those mindset. Is taking me the boost. It's not about just the capital. It's all about the connection. It's all about mindset. You fix your mindset first. It's all about the community you belong. And you, of course, you provide a lot of value to the community. Also, take a lot of, you like a sponge. You're going to be taking all the advice, taking all the good stuff. And at the end of the day, if you have a really good accountability group continuously working together, you're going to be stepping stone and going to the next. So for me right now, 136, that's fine. I'm looking at maybe thousands of units over the next 5 years or 10 years, like Grant did, right? He started off with the one house, and then he has over 15 to 16 or even beyond the thousands of apartments that he has he has the asset, right?
Yes. And so in this journey, when you did switch across to running this whole show yourself, did you ever have a moment where you said to yourself, what have I done?
Obviously, because when you are doing these are massive, these are not small stuff we're talking about, because you have an obligation for your employer in a job, you have an obligation for your stakeholders, you have an obligation for your investors, you have an obligation for your family. That's important too, right? I mean, we gotta juggle all this thing here. But just like what Grant does, right? You go beyond what you can think. It's like a stretching your mind to the 10x. So that past year and a half has given me enough of my ability, and I'm soaked in with this content, very consistent basis, right? It's giving me the kind of mental clarity that what I need, which I didn't have it a few years ago in my engineering and process-driven project management one. I do know that very clearly what I'm going, so because I have decades of experience. But these skills, I did not go to the university to learn sales and marketing. I learned all that starting my journey from Grant Cardone, and then learned from world-class training company, right? Grant Cardone team. And also he has a real estate club. I have been in the club since last year. It also gave me an opportunity to see the big players all over the world that come to his summit. So it's about the content that he's delivering. It's about the leverage that I'm taking all the players that are coming in, and every one of us supporting each other. At the end of the day, that network is building to the network. with the 10X branding. And of course, it's helping big time too, because the 10X, it's not about just the branding. It's about what is the meaning of that. When I wear this 10X, you can see my wristband it's remind me every day. Yep, right here. It remind me every day what is the 10X is all about. As an engineer, I have a ring. It reminds me in Canada saying every time you're signing something, you got to make sure your design is very sound. So that reminds me. So same thing that happened, that having this wristband is reminding me every day. Success is my duty, right? So this is a reminder. So I'm so blessed that I'm part of the community, the 10X, and part of many other communities I belong to. They've been very supportive, and also I'm trying my best to give as much as you can within my ability, within my skill set, basically.
Yes. And so what was your journey to finding 10X, or did you find it, or did it find you?
That's a very good question. That shows that it works, right? So Grant Cardone's has a super class marketing. One of the emails that reached to my inbox, somehow it got into the funnel, and it said that, hey, you want to be a business coach? I was like, I wanted to get understanding on the sales and marketing, which is the not area that I went to got my education or training and all that. I said, okay, I can do it for myself because I really want to learn. I don't need to go get my PhD to learn this one here, but certainly from the world-class guy, you can certainly, I can learn something very quick and I can implement right away. So I took that opportunity. I called Grant Cardone's team. I said, hey, I want to be part of it. And I did ask the question, is that going to help me for my real estate? Is this anything to do with the real estate? Their answer was at the beginning, I wasn't quite sure that that's going to be kind of connected. But then they clarified later on, saying that you need a basic foundation for your business. Just like any business, whether it's a car wash business or you have a real estate business, you need a foundation. The very foundational things you got to do, money and mindset. The mindset first. Once you get the mind clarity, obscurity is gone. You start to see very clear path. Then you got to focus on marketing and sales. Without the marketing and sales, none of this business going to be able to operate. So why not I literally soak in those content? And it's so rich content. I feel so privileged. Like more and more I watch it, more and more everyday basis. I'm trying to get at it. It's really great content, which is building my confidence to the level. So I applied those principles to my real estate confidence level on it. So it doesn't matter what business we're in, we can always apply this similar principle. Just like an engineering principle. We have an engineering principle I can apply to any engineering design because you need to have a basic foundation. Same thing with the Grant Cardone content. Absolutely phenomenal. I've been so lucky. It's been almost a year and a half now. And I do have coaching clients, and I'm also part of that community with you and others. The value that we are changing among ourselves and giving back to the whole world and seeing the transformation is happening, mind-boggling.
So, Kazi, tell me about the step where you originally did the business coaching licensee program so that you could apply that to your own real estate business, as you said. There was obviously a point when you went, okay, I could actually help other people with this. So tell us about that part of your journey, please.
Sure. That's a great question too. Once I know that the content-rich material and implementation is helping me, seeing my transformation of Kazi 1 become Kazi 2.0, Kazi 3.0, Kazi 4.0 every year changing, I could not even speak, in front of the audience like this in a podcasting a few years back, maybe a couple of years ago, we're talking about. So obviously it's giving. I've gone through many institutions, of course, to get my education and everything else, but these are the practical things that sometimes you need to go to the right place to learn. And I made the good decision. It was, even though I did not know much about Grant at the time, but ever since I found out there's a content and I really thought that this would be valuable, I jumped on it. And ever since I have been in a part of that community, coming out of as a 10x certified business coach, I implemented. I said, okay, now that my life is changing, transformation is happening, I'm reaching out to my surroundings. I'm reaching out to my family members. I'm reaching out to my friends. I'm reaching out to everybody I meet. I said, hey, what's your business? I got to, and this is what I'm doing it here. Connection, we're building it. And I say, if you need any support in terms of scaling your business, transforming your mindset, that's why I am a 10x certified business coach. First, we need to know what's your goal, right? What is your why? Then you can figure out how we're going to be doing it. And everything else, you have to keep consistently working towards it. And I always say that everybody asks me, well, anywhere I go, what does that 10X mean, Stu? What does that mean? I just say it's a very simple formula. It's not a big, complex math or engineering formula. Very simple. You got the 10X level of your mindset you set as a target. You consistently, discipline-wise, you applying it for a long period of time, and equal, you got a 10x result. So you may not achieve the 100% 10x, but if you started off down below, you're always going to be down below because there's so many other things going to be coming on that. You may not be able to achieve that, right? So that's kind of what I'm helping my community, my friend circles and surrounding us, that just say that this is not about just the 10x brand. There is a meaning to it, deeper meaning to it. And the mental clarity is very important.
Yeah. Now, with any decisions that you've made across your journey in your career to where you've come from to where you are now, Kazi, there's risk involved. Okay.
Sure.
Now, coming from an engineer, you're trained in risk. You're trained
Of course.
So one of the limiting factors, and I call it resistance in my book, Yes for Success. One of the limiting factors that people have is that they go, oh, that's too risky. I better not do that. Like, so 10xing and making my goal 10 times bigger, like, that's too scary because what if it doesn't work, and all of the negativity that comes. How would you coach someone through that right now with what you've learned?
Excellent. I love that question. Yes, everybody's risk tolerance is different. Everybody's, of course, the personality level is different. That's why we go through, if we go deeper, dive into those, so we do the risk assessment and to make sure the personality makes sense. And its upbringing, sometimes it makes a difference as well, right? I know that we are expected to coach from all walks of life, right? Some are coming with a very high personality in terms of go-getter. Some are more like, okay, hold me into that. So I have dealt with a stretch client, which is even growing faster than me. I have dealt with also polar opposite too. So I have dealt with both, even though I don't have a whole lot yet that it started off. The clients, and that there's a different personality. So everybody's risk tolerance and the personality is different. How you adjust to that? Very first thing I like to find it out. I'd like to do more assessment first, which we have the template for the assessment, which is just tell me more about your way of thinking money and mindset. What is the understanding about your marketing and the sales? Those are the business intake or personal intake assessment we do. I'm also more data-driven kind of individual. I like to assess it. It's like going to the doctor.
Yeah.
First thing the doctor is going to say, do you have a blood pressure? Do you have a diabetes? They're not going to tell you all that. He said, okay, what is your problem? Find out what the issues are, and then you can do the diagnosis. And then he's going to tell you that, okay, based on this is what I can give you. For us, we give the guidance, right, as a coach. So even though I came from the consulting background, I always separate myself from the coaching from the consulting because there are two different meanings to it. So we are coaches. We are empowering other people so that we can see the transformation through our coaching. And in order to do that, we need to better understand the client that we're dealing with. Very first thing we say, what is your why? What are you doing? What's your goal? And based on that, we will guide you through the process. Well, challenges is always going to be there. But if the client, there could be clients that you'll be dealing with, they're paranoid about many things in their life. It's all natural. I say the same thing. When I manage project, I have zillions of other risk factors I have to deal with in order to construct a building. We know that this could be wind, there could be underground site services is an issue. There's a whole bunch of things going to be done, right? So we do the risk assessment, basically. So I apply those things, kind of what I learned through my trade, right? Same thing. Human being is no different. We're dealing with everybody had challenges. I had challenges. It looks good that, it took me decades in order to where I am today. A decade from now would be different of me, because if I consistently apply this 10x level next 10 years, I can't even imagine where I'm going to be going at the time, right? So I'm not sure if I answered to your question or you're still seeking more clarity to it, what I just said.
Yeah, no, I'm really clear in terms of what the actions that you've taken to first find out about Grant. And what's interesting for me, there's two elements to your story. There's the one where you saw the back of the magazine, which had the think question on it, in Walmart, and then there's the random email from Cardone about, do you want to be a business coach, which somehow found it into your feed. Now, both of those moments required a level of curiosity from you that had to be already present for you to notice both of those moments in your life. Just to even notice the back of that magazine, and then to notice that question about you already had to be primed like an engine to some degree, right? My reading into that is, right at the start, you said you've been a voracious reader in your life. You've had a learning mindset all the way through. You didn't finish university and go, oh, that's it for books for me. I'm never reading another book. You kept what we call in the 10X world, feeding the beast. Now, you didn't know that's what it was.
And that's right.
And I'm interested. I might be making this up, so please correct me. I'm drawing a connection between your habit and behavior of feeding your beast before any of this even happened to your curiosity to enable you to even see those opportunities.
It's so true what you spotted. Exactly. I've been primed already. Just a matter of spark. I have been primed. That's what I'm saying. But sometimes the timing could take a long time. Same thing that in my business coaching. Some coaches want to get on, depending on where the background they come from, right? Some could be in the sales and marketing. Already they're primed. Me, I'm coming from engineering and project management. I was not trained to be a sales person. I was not trained to be a marketer, right? That's okay. But I am getting in because I've shown the interest over the past number of years. I said, you know what? I can see around me. I could be the best engineer, the brightest engineers doing all that. It's good. It's a fulfilling for me, but that's not going to take me where I wanted to go, because that's just the same train. I'm leaving the same station and coming back to the same station. I got to do something about it. I have interest on that. So going back to the real estate, I've been already primed for 5 years before the 5, or even longer than that. It's already instilled. I've been working through. At some point, I said, you know what? Enough is enough. This doesn't want to be getting into procrastination. Do it now. And I see that there's a right choice. And the way that they came out is just think again with a big exclamation on this one here. Are you sure you want to think? I said, okay, within few days, I made the deal happen. That was the catalyst to grow this portfolio, and this will go on, basically. Yes. Same thing happened with Grant Cardone. Randomly, email came. I have been actually for the past few, before that, I was thinking, I'm already in a learning mode, right? I got thousands of books I read. Like literally reading is my passion, right? It's already there. I even purchased your book, Yes for Success. So I read everybody's book. You're very welcome. That even within our community, 10X community, there's people writing books, we are reading each other's book, basically. Mm-hmm. So every single book has something you can take from there and you can utilize it. So I say that to the audience, that it's basically for everyone that the way that I see it, I like to be soaked in. What my expression is that read, invest in yourself. That's what I've been doing. Investing, just reading a book, listening to all the experts, including your book, and other experts as well. And then once you're soaked into it, you got to implement it. You can't just sit around. So if you don't do the implementation, it's like you're just got all the knowledge ain't going to do anything on the knowledge unless you apply this knowledge, basically. So that's why you are absolutely caught. I mean, right timing on this one is saying that you must be primed. Yes, I was primed for sure in the real estate. I was a little bit of hesitant when the Grant Cardone's opportunity came in, but I thought that marketing and sales, the way that I read through, it's like you need a basic foundation. I said, okay, so I'm just like a small investor. Eventually, I'm going to have a company. The company will need a marketing and sales team. Why not I learn now so that I can prep myself? That's exactly the things what I started a year and a half. And I actually opened a company in the United States now, the real estate company, which I'm going to be building it to the 10x level. So
Yes.
that's the goal that I have.
Yeah, that's brilliant, Kazi. And, I also love the fact that, you actually used your engineering mindset around, I need to build a foundation for a business around marketing and sales because I don't have that. Oh, that makes sense to me. All right, I'll take this step. But look, for the audience, and I think a really strong element that's really has held all of the pieces of your story together is the fact that you have been an avid learner all the way through, and that
All my life.
never stopped learning. And by having already that pre-existing mindset, that created the opportunity for you to see opportunity. Now, of course, the next part though takes courage and that risk tolerance and all of those sorts to actually do the action, which you've done. But the two coexist for success. You've got to be able to see opportunity. You've got to be primed for it, but you've got to then take the action as you have done. And as we see, it comes over time. Now, we're heading to the end of our chat. We've got just two more things to cover off. First one is, what would be some of the best ways for people to contact you if they wanted to possibly explore what you're doing from a real estate perspective, particularly in the United States? And then secondly, to reach out to you from a coaching point of view, because you're a global coach. You're not restricted to Canada with your coaching.
Correct. Grant Cardone website has the licensee contact information. It has my bio, and there's a phone number and also my contact details over there. And also my company is Unique 4 Diamonds Real Estate Incorporated. That is my real estate company. If anyone would be interested in investing or partnership or business real estate coaching side of it, through that company that we can deliver that. But primarily with the business mindset, business coaching, the Grant Cardone licensee website has all the contact details. And you can also drop it in your podcast, the contact details. And so the audience will get to contact me and love to chat with them.
Yeah, so we'll pop that in the show notes too. And any specific social media links that you're happy to share as well?
Yes, I will share in that link with the Facebook as well as the Instagram. And yes, you will have all the contact information right there.
Great. We'll pop all of them in the show notes, like folks. Now, you may not be aware, but the Moving Beyond Being podcast has been going since 2009. So I was a relatively early adopter in this space. And I didn't really know what I was doing for a long time, though, to be quite honest. And we've fixed that up a lot, particularly over the past 12 months. Also, equally as a result of coming into the 10X world and getting exposed to a community of people that knew more about that than I did, and learning off them and going, hey, I need to be doing that better, which I'm very confident we have. So, of course, you can imagine with the phrase moving beyond being good, when I came across 10X, it's like, oh, that's in the same space. Like I get that. That
Right.
said, I know how you interpret 10X, but what does the phrase moving beyond being good mean to you, Kazi?
For me, beyond the good, I challenge myself every day to be a better version of what I was yesterday. Every day I look at it as a fresh opportunity, get up in the morning, I feel energized myself, energetic, saying that no matter whether my own work I'm doing, employer work I'm doing, I want to keep my balance on my family and passion of my other passions that I have in the sport and the music. And so that way, firmly believe that 10X Super Life combination of those 7 areas that Grant is focusing on. This is the way that we should be thinking. And Every day is a new chapter. Whatever past setbacks and all that, take the challenge, move on. You're not going to correct all this, what's happening in the back and in the past. Move on and keep hustling on that. Hustle, sometimes connotated as not a good word. It's saying, but we need hustle to get moving, because every task you're going to be doing, we got to keep hustling this one here, right? Keep working on it. And yes, you're gonna expect it to say setback. Life doesn't go a straight line. This is how my mindset has been kind of built, that take an opportunity, chances on this one here, do the calculative. That's kind of what I do. Calculative risk. I just don't randomly do it. I always want to study first, get that. Yes, I could be slow certain times, but it pays off at the end. You don't want to be rushing for every little things. When the opportunity knocks, look at all the circumstances and make the decision, jump on it. Because if you wait for too long, ain't going to work. If I waited for another grant pardon emails to come in a year later, I would be where I'm today, basically. So that was a light bulb moment too, for me, real estate, pivoting to the real estate back 5 years ago, and year and a half ago, grant pardon has pivoted me. But the mindset is huge right now, because for me, 136 units is just the beginning. I'm even dreaming that thousands. So where did that mindset come from? I'm sure that if you keep doing this 10x level of mindset all the time, you're going to expect to see the result. That's the confidence level that you have to build, basically.
Yeah, 100%. And you started every day. I mean, your answer then was, I wake up energized, which is a choice. You are waking up, you are choosing to be energized and to bring that to every element of your life. Kazi, I want to thank you from Kingston, all the way in Canada, from down under. I want to thank you from my bottom of my heart for coming along on the Moving Beyond Being Good podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Gary. It's been a pleasure to be part on your podcast, and I'm looking forward to keep maintaining the same friendship that we build, we forge, within the 10X community. And to the audience, that I know this fellow has been extremely engaged with our community as well. So much value that you're bringing in every day, and so much value that you are, for your audience, that you're doing. And I watched it, those things, the episodes. Unbelievable job you're doing. So keep hustling, keep doing a great job. And in Australia, and I look forward to see you guys someday in Australia. But it's been a pleasure to meet you. And finally, it's been a great day for me that I was able to meet you, especially with the host from Australia. And it's my pleasure. I love to see the country. It's a beautiful country. One day I'm going to be visiting there. I'm also inviting you and the visitors from Australia to come to our country here, Canada. And we love to see you guys, So great job hosting it. Thank you so much. I appreciate that opportunity again.
You're welcome. And I think us Australians and Canadians have always gotten along pretty well. I think that we've got a whole bunch of similarities about how we see them.
That's right.
Big, vast country. It's not such a big population compared to other countries, of course. And there's a bit of pioneer spirit, I think, still in us all from our two countries. So we tend to be good friends. So again, Kazi, thank you for coming along. Folks, Kazi mentioned throughout the book briefly that he had a read of Yes for Success, How to Achieve Life, Harmony and Fulfillment. It is a book that's going to help you to develop clarity around your personal vision and also how to get there. Simply go to Yes for Success, all one word, .guru. That's yesforsuccess.guru to do that. Folks, once again, thanks for coming along and watching and listening to the Moving Beyond Being Good podcast. We look forward to chatting with you and preparing another great episode next time. Bye.
Thank you.